Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of March 17th, and we are in the midst of a very fateful week. We're ending the Mercury retrograde this week, basically conjunct on the North Node of Destiny. All week long, we've got the Pisces new moon and also the sun moving into Aries this week, sparking a new season and actually starting a new astrological new year because it is on the spring equinox when the sun moves to the 0 degree of Aries. That is when the astrological new year begins. That is the start of a brand new astrological cycle. So we're celebrating that this week and so much more, but it really is a busy week. We have a lot of energies localized in just a small section of the zodiac. There is a lot of energy in Pisces. We have the sun, the moon currently, Mars, Mercury, and the North Node, all in Pisces. So Pisces folks and those with Pisces placements or other water signs, you are having a lot going on right now, and we'll talk about that. Also, Aries has 4 different planetary dignitaries here. I say that because we've got Chiron, which is actually an asteroid, but very much a dignitary in astrology, Venus, Saturn, and Neptune in Aries. So folks with Aries placements, Aries people, sun, moon, ascendant, but everybody feeling the Aries energy this week because of course, it's that astrological new year. It is a very strong point in the zodiac, but fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, you're going to be feeling a lot of these sparks and the new beginnings also coming from your co-fire sign of Aries. So it's like a week of endings and new beginnings. It's something we've been talking about for quite a while because we've had a lot of movement from Pisces to Aries, but things are changing here. And Pisces no longer houses Neptune. That was in Pisces for 13, 14 years, and Neptune is the ruling sign of Pisces, and making that Pisces energy very, very strong and charged up and amplified with its home planet there. But Neptune has moved on. Neptune is now in that initiator fire sign of Aries, sparking new beginnings for hopes, dreams, and desires, and everything that Neptune represents. So Pisces has been alleviated from some of that really potent, high energy. And also, Saturn was in Pisces for 2.5 years, and Saturn is a heavier energy. It's the planet of responsibility and of taking things kind of more seriously and being ambitious and having goals and boundaries and adhering to rule structures and restructuring things. Saturn is out of Pisces and moved into Aries. So we are seeing new beginnings in terms of what we are feeling responsible for, how we're taking responsibility for our responsibilities, rather, in our life in general, and also just in the world in general, because this 0 degree Aries point is known as the world degree. So we see a lot of action in the world take place. And so, yeah, let's just kind of break it down day by day. We're really in this kind of muddier time period with Mercury retrograde. There is a time, well, there's a few times of the year when Mercury goes retrograde, and that is when the planet moves backwards in the sky. So it's in Pisces doing this backwards motion. And when we see Mercury go in this backwards motion, we take care of things from the past. We think about the past more. We go back and we take care of things that we know need to be restructured, and also just anything reinitiated, anything that needs to be edited, reviewed, refreshed. This is where the Mercury retrograde is working, is in Pisces, and Pisces is already kind of the sign of everything being dissolved and things being more mysterious, and just kind of the sign of confusion in general. And Mercury in retrograde, Mercury's our mind. So when Mercury is retrograde, you hear this a lot. Our thought processes slow down. Our abilities to create thoughts and create messages, it just all slows down. Technology, you'll see just like the internet and messaging, not getting text messaging, emailing, not getting to places in time, or mysterious, messages being mysteriously lost, and or that's just taking a while for things to be communicated in general. And this can just slow down our mind a little bit, slow down also the ability to get places. Just transportation, like your routine transportation to work, to the grocery store, to pick up the kids, all that stuff slows down. And you can even see car problems come up, or issues with cars. Anything having to do with cars or transportation starts to become, it just needs a little more attention. We need to go back and fix that. And when Mercury starts moving forward again later this week, then we're going to see the third and final phase of this Mercury retrograde take place. And then we'll get to move on from that. But on March 17th, Mercury is deep in retrograde, making a conjunction with the North Node. So here we are. We're going back. We're taking care of old business, something that's been on the table now for quite a while. This Mercury retrograde process can take several weeks. And so these are things we've been talking about, discussing, trying to get moving. And this North Node conjunction is going to provide that opportunity to take a step towards our future. That's what the North Node represents. It's the destined, fated future. It is our path in life. And so we get a destined communication. We get we finally have this awakening in terms of what this Mercury retrograde has been about in Pisces. Pisces is the sign of mystery. And it can also be the sign of connection to source. And so there is a really strong intuition that is available right now. And so we could get a strong intuitive blast in terms of what we are supposed to take care of, how we're supposed to move forward, North Node, and go toward our goals and move toward our fateful future. Later on this week, Mercury is going to be making another conjunction, exact conjunction with the North Node, although these 2 points are going to be hovering together all week. So that means that this intuitive messaging is not just available on one day. It's like this whole week, we've been receiving intuitive blasts. Mercury goes into the underworld when it goes retrograde. And so we've been receiving messages from the underworld, and this has been eye-opening for us. And so it helps us to understand what this retrograde process is all about right here in Pisces. And for those of you that are water signs, you're feeling the support from this Mercury retrograde. If you have Cancer points, Scorpio points, Pisces points, this is a supportive process for you because it is helping to build with those like signs, the water signs, support other water signs. So, Scorpio, Cancer, this is the time to be paying really, really close attention because there's something really supportive here, and it's helping to build those that are Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo. This is the square points to Mercury retrograde and the opposition. This is a little more of a challenging type of aspect. And so this Mercury retrograde could feel a little more challenging, like there's just more decisions to be made and more action that kind of needs to take place. And you have to stay on your toes just a little bit more because there's things kind of hitting you from the sides. And those with the sextile, that would be Taurus or Capricorn, those are receiving more of that harmonious, balanced type of interaction. So there's a lot available here, and looking and seeing in your own astrological birth chart, what is being aspected by a retrograde, like a Mercury retrograde, especially when the North Node is present here, because it's having to do with our fated future, where we are headed in life and where we are being led to go. So on March 18th, this is the Pisces new moon day, and we have a new moon at the very final degrees of Pisces. Right before the sun leaves the sign of Pisces, the moon is going to conjunct, creating what we know as the new moon. And this is a brand new cycle that we start in Pisces. And this is a very charged up area because those final degrees of Pisces had both Neptune and Saturn hovering over them as they did their last retrograde. We had been really digging down into these final degrees of Pisces. So this wasn't that long ago when Neptune and Saturn were there, just a few months ago. And so we could be getting some kind of repeat performance, some kind of reactivation of this energy of the 28th and the 29th degree of Pisces, because there's just been so much action here. And this new moons are generally about creating and starting new cycles and new intentions for the next lunar cycle. And this sign of Pisces is about closure, and it's about endings. And we're at the final degrees of Pisces. So there's a letting go aspect to this new moon and to these final moments with all of these planets doing so much work in Pisces, where there has just been so much action already. And so, being gentle around this new moon, it's not a full moon where you want to take a bunch of action. You want to sit with things around a new moon. You want to let things come to you. You want to be a little more passive. And Pisces is a feminine energy that's about endings. And I was listening to another astrologer, and they were talking. Gosh, who was it? I think it might have been Brittany from Ethereal Astrology. She's talking about the healthy way to have an ending. And what you do when you know that you're coming to the end is you release and you don't try and hold on and grip stronger. When you know that you're coming to the end of something, the healthy way to do that is to release and to not try and hold on. So there's a surrender. There's a complete and utter surrender to this process that's been ongoing for quite a while. I mean, we've seen so much change recently. We had that minor grand trine a few months ago with the outer planets, where they were all hovering at the final degrees of the signs they were in. And now we've seen 3 out of 4 of those planets move into their new signs. We still have Uranus at the final degrees of Taurus. And once Uranus moves out of Taurus, we're going to see see so many just permanent points. I mean, basically, it's like, the end is the end is the end is the end. I know that that's been the talk in the astrology, but we are truly on the new beginnings also with the sun's movement into Aries on March 20th. This triggers the change of season, and we have the astrological new year. We get to leave everything behind and take on a brand new cycle, create new dreams with Neptune still at just about 2 degrees of Aries. We are dreaming so many new dreams. There is a connection also that Neptune has to source and to divine intervention. And so we're feeling into so much divine intervention right now, to where we're being pulled and pushed in these very divine ways in our lives right now. And just being aware and observant and receiving the subtle messaging right now is so important, because the messaging is quite subtle. And see, Pisces is like, got this Mercury deep in retrograde, finishing, having endings, like permanent endings that are gonna just send us off on our new path in the future. And this new moon comes in and says, yep, time to let go, just release, just surrender. Then we get the brand new astrological new year with the sun in Aries. This is a new era. This is where things finally start to move forward. And I do think that the beginning of this week is like the final inhale. There's like this inhale, exhale energy to the astrology. And right now is absolutely, it's an inhale time. We are in the inhale. We are pulling in. We are going passive. We are releasing. Pisces, it's the fish, it goes with the flow, allowing yourself to move where you are being drawn right now and where the world is taking you. And then as soon as the sun moves into Aries, we become more bold. We become more courageous. Fire signs are about expression. And so we're going to see toward the end of the week the desire to express ourselves more, to take some more action. Aries is an action-oriented sign. And as soon as the sun hits there, also on the 20th, we have Mercury stationing direct. And it's not going to just be taken off, moving forward quickly. It's hovering right around this 8-degree Pisces point almost the whole week, conjunct with that North Node, bringing in this subtle messaging for our fated future path. And once Mercury stations direct on the 20th, we also see the moon move into Taurus. And that's going to shift the mood for the rest of the weekend. Saturday and Sunday have a Taurus moon. This is an earth sign, and this is also where Uranus is. So we could see a bit of surprise, a bit of kind of earth-shattering, earthquakey kind of energy. On the 22nd, this is the day when Mercury is going to make another exact conjunction with the North Node, although, as I said, we've got that energy hovering around us all week. The sun also in a conjunction with Neptune this day. This is the exact conjunction where we ourselves, the sun is us. It's our experience we're having right now. It's our identity. It's our personal ego. When we come into contact with Neptune, we dream such big dreams. We have perfect communication and connection with source energy and have this amazing unconditional love that Neptune loves to emit available to us also. So feeling into this creative, artistic, dreamy, lovey energy on the 22nd with sun conjunct Mercury+Neptune. And then on the 23rd, the moon moves into Gemini, and that shifts us into a little more of a social type of energy, a little more curious. Gemini is a bit more of a talker, a communicator, a thinker, and that carries us into next week. But I really, truly feel like this week is kind of a final inhale. It's where we are able to have a true quiet moment before Aries season comes, before the astrological New Year's hits, before we start to dream these big dreams and fall into these new cycles and truly see the past, Pisces, and everything that represents start to fade, and these new beginnings become more of the experience that we're having. They become more of our personal identity as the sun moves there. And this Aries season is quite prolific. This really is the final inhale before we have a massive, massive exhale for this next Aries season. We're going to have a major, major planetary pile up here, one that we haven't seen in a lot of years. So I do feel like these new beginnings that we're about to embark on they're going to be very, very potent, and there's going to be a lot of energies around us, like saying, yes, do it, yes, do it, yes, do it. Because Aries is going to have like everything there. Mercury, the sun, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, Chiron. And when the moon comes through for the new moon, oh my goodness. Yeah. So looking forward to more of this power-packed astrology of an amazing astrological year. 2026 is a year that's been being talked about for a long time because there's so much new energy taking place and so many new cycles and new eras forming. So truly, truly enjoy it. It's an amazing time. And this new moon is going to be closing out that last eclipse cycle also. And so we're gonna truly, truly see a massive exhale as we move into Aries season. So enjoy the quiet moments this week while we still have them. And I wish you the very best. I really appreciate you being tuned in here to the Cosmic Community Astrology with your galactic ambassador, Stacey Dredd. And I will be talking to you again very soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.